She quite literally said it. I don't like them. I don't want to know them. And just like that, Janelle Brown didn't just close a chapter, she burned the whole book. What we're seeing transpire in Season 19's Tell-All Part 2 is far beyond usual reality television angst. This is raw, unvarnished destruction of a family once founded upon faith, unity, and sacrifice. But when three wives are walking out the door, you can't help but question, did the women actually fail? Or was something wrong with the foundation all along? Hi, friends. I'm Anya, and you're watching Reality Recap. If you've been along with Sister Wives from the start, or even just watched this season, you know this is a tale that's gone way beyond marriage. This is survival now. This is identity. And this is the painful awakening to reality. And this week, Janelle awakens completely. She doesn't dance around her hurt. She lays it all out there. Her regret, her sadness, her refusal to pretend anymore. It's raw, it's real, and truly, it's about time. In the meantime, Kody and Robyn, their frosty collective silence speaks louder than any words ever could. Robyn's I don't care when questioned about how it felt to be called the sacred cow. That was not offhand. That was deliberate. That is not merely uncomfortable now. It's disturbing. Before we dissect all this, don't forget to subscribe. If you're sick of the PR spin and need the facts, you're in the right place. Leave a comment too, because this one is bound to get some emotions going. For all those years, Janelle was the eye of the hurricane, the rock, the unobtrusive force who stood firm while emotional turmoil ravaged the Brown household. While Christine expressed her anger and Mary openly fell apart, Janelle remained anchored, down to earth and no nonsense, usually staying in the shadows. But now, something's changed, and not quietly. During this tell-all, it's as if the dam breaks at last. The Janelle we're witnessing today isn't tired. She's finished. Finished. And to see that emotional transition occur in real time? It is a truck hit. No more sugarcoating. When she is questioned about whether she would ever be friends with Kody or Robyn, her response is starkly blunt. I don't like them. I don't want to know them. There's no anger there, just clarity. She's not stirring the pot. She's just done with pretending. For so long, she tried to maintain the peace. She remained neutral, attempted to make it work. But now, there is no middle ground anymore. She's no longer in between. She's out. And then there's the manner in which she speaks of her marriage. The remorse. When she concedes that if she had spent a year with Kody prior to marrying him, she doesn't know that she would have proceeded with it. That is a reality you only confide when you have done some deep soul-searching. It is heartbreaking and also freeing. Watching Janelle finally speak her truth without holding back feels like watching someone breathe freely for the first time in decades. You can see it in her eyes. She's not protecting anyone's feelings anymore. She's finally speaking for herself. And for so many viewers out there, she's speaking for them too. For anyone who stayed in something too long out of fear, loyalty, or hope that maybe it could change. Janelle's metamorphosis, from soft-spoken peacemaker to hard-edged truth-teller, says it all we need to know about this family's new reality. This is not merely a breakup. This is a complete reckoning, and once that process is underway, there is no going back. There is one moment during the tell-all that is so cringe-worthily uncomfortable. It seems almost dreamlike. When host Sukanya asks Robyn about feeling referred to as the family's sacred cow, Robyn merely shrugs and answers, "Whatever, I don't care." That is it. No feeling. No explanation. Just a brisk dismissal. And that silence? It speaks volumes. Because this isn't simply about a nickname. It's about the way Robyn's been viewed for years. The manner in which she's been sheltered and positioned above the others never had. Robyn's always attempted to be both victim and peacekeeper. But when the other wives were suffering, she never really stood up. And now that the family's breaking apart, her remoteness is screaming loudest. She doesn't defend herself, doesn't explain. She simply disappears into the background, allowing Kody to absorb the backlash. And Kody? He's becoming someone entirely new, someone Janelle insists she doesn't even recognize anymore. She spells it out. She doesn't remember him being so cruel, so cold, so relentlessly dismissive. Her theory? Perhaps. Perhaps he's doing it intentionally, playing the bad guy, behaving worse than he really is, just to divert attention from Robyn, his alleged holy cow. Janelle doesn't volunteer this theory lightly. There's uncertainty in her voice as she questions whether the man she married is even present anymore. It's not bitterness. It's pain. A sort of dazed amazement that he's gone this far from who he once was. And looking at Kody sitting on that stage, you can't help but ask yourself the same. The manner in which he talks today, abrupt, distant, always on guard, it's as if he's erected emotional barriers so tall that even his children can no longer access him. It isn't that he's altered, it's that he appears to have adopted this tough, aloof persona. He speaks as one who assumes the entire world has turned against him, and to a certain degree, perhaps it has. What makes it all so difficult to bear is how tightly Kody and Robyn are holding on to one another in their isolation. They don't fight. They don't appear rattled. But that calm? It doesn't seem real. It seems like denial. Like two people attempting in desperation to maintain a version of their relationship that no longer exists. And though they might believe they're holding firm, the quiet between them and about them betrays far more than words ever would. Meanwhile, the other members of the family, what's left of the family, is sitting on the sidelines wondering how it all ended up here. One of the reasons this tell-all packs so much punch is due to when it was being shot. This wasn't in some bubble. This was after the tragic loss of Janelle and Kody's son, Garrison. That sadness casts a shadow over the entire episode. It permeates every silence, every manufactured smile, every deep breath. It's not said all the time, but you can sense it. It's sitting just below the surface as this family continues to unravel. For Janelle, that loss wasn't just bearing down on her. It made things clear. You can see how it tightened up her boundaries, how it cut through whatever lingering haze. Losing a child does make everything else differently, and for her, it seems like it took away the final shreds of patience she had for the way Kody and Robyn work. Her tone in this tell-all, it's not just strong, it's final. And that's not about stirring up drama. That's what real grief looks like when you've hit your limit. At the funeral, one thing in particular stuck out, not only to audiences, but to the family. Robyn apparently participated in the graveside ceremonies, covering Garrison's casket in dirt. At face value, perhaps it would have seemed a respectful gesture, but with the history there, knowing Garrison's feelings toward Robyn in those last months of his life, the move didn't quite resonate the way she may have intended. It came off as removed, possibly even as performative. The episode doesn't focus on that moment itself, but Janelle's tell-all response is all you need. You sense the change, the bitterness, the remove. It's more cutting than ever before. She doesn't verbalize it, but you feel like something snapped in her at that funeral, whatever strand was still holding on to the possibility of repairing this family. It broke. She's not lashing out. She's not even emoting. She's just done. And for anyone who's mourned and felt not supported by the people who should have been there most, that ache is all too real. It doesn't always erupt, Sometimes it just smolders. Kody does not mention Garrison in the footage presented. Neither does Robyn. Their silence? Shattering. And then, in comparison, Janelle's aloofness isn't cold. It's earned. She's mourning. But she's also electing peace, clarity, herself. That funeral was more than a send-off for Garrison. It may also have been the day Janelle bid adieu to the fantasy that this family could be salvaged. And if you've spent even 5 minutes on Reddit or Twitter, the reaction is clear. Viewers aren't torn anymore. They're united. People are standing with Janelle, and it's not just sympathy. It's identification. She's saying what fans have been yelling at their screens for seasons. One Reddit user summed it up perfectly. She said what we've all known for years. That kind of response, that's not just applause. That's a shift. The audience is done being neutral. This tell-all did not simply provide behind-the-scenes insight. It substantiated what so many had long suspected: favoritism, manipulation, emotional disconnection. It's no longer spoken of in hushed tones. It's being said, loud and clear, by someone who experienced it. Janelle's voice has eclipsed her own narrative. It's become the voice of the people. And the support? It's arriving quickly. Top outlets: Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight, Us Weekly. They're all focusing on Janelle, not Kody, not Robyn, not even Christine this time. It's Janelle now. The woman who formerly kept quiet is the one who's making headlines. And viewers aren't just observing anymore. They're taking sides. Nobody's cutting Kody any slack now. Viewers aren't asking themselves if he's simply misunderstood. They're labeling it for exactly what it appears to be: selfishness, shutdown, deflection. And Robyn's unfazed, flat, whatever. It's not being interpreted as indifference. It's coming across as detachment, tone-deaf, out of touch. Fans are reading between each line, and the message couldn't be more obvious. Janelle's not the only one who's had enough. This episode didn't merely reveal cracks in the family. It fired something up. It put a fire in the belly of fans who at long last heard their own unspoken words said out loud on national television. And once that truth is revealed, there's no putting it back. One of the most subdued moments of the tell-all is also one of the most weighty. Janelle sits quietly, collected, and speaks a statement that rings as loudly as any argument ever could. If I had a year with Kody, I'm not sure I would have married him. Just like that, the decades of history get ripped wide open. That line? It's not regret. It's realization. It's the burden of looking back on a life constructed on faith, on sacrifice, on the hope that love would finally grow, and finally conceding it didn't. In the universe of polygamy, particularly the manner in which the Browns lived it, life was always in motion: spiritual missions, hurried courtships, life-altering decisions made for the group, not the individual. At that time, Janelle probably thought she was entering something holy, something secure, something guided by God. But in this instant, you can sense it. The price. What she sacrificed. What she turned a blind eye to. What she didn't challenge until today. And that's what makes her statement so devastating. Not because it's loud, but because it's honest, calm, unflinching. The kind of honesty that only happens when you finally stop lying to yourself just to make the story appear worthwhile. That one sentence flips the whole narrative of Sister Wives, not as a testament to plural love, but as a cautionary tale about losing yourself in somebody else's fantasy. Janelle's words, not hers anymore. A turning point. A silent epiphany that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not stick with it. It's realizing you should have left long before you ever agreed to stay. And beneath it all, Janelle's story isn't just a TV reality show narrative. It's something more. Raw. True. It's about the courage it takes to break free from a life that no longer belongs to you. About choosing truth instead of comfort. About finally finding your voice when silence has been the only safe choice. Her story casts a spotlight on what really goes on behind the shiny surface of Sister Wives. The heartache, the betrayals, and the sobering realization that you've put your own joy on pause for far too long. And then there's Mary, steadily backing away, going her own way. Her recent solo vacation? It doesn't even feel like a break. It's subtle, but strong. An indication that she too is ending this chapter. Forward movement sometimes requires us to let go, not necessarily of others, but of the version of yourself which held on to something no longer present. Thanks for sticking with me through all this. If you're as stunned, shocked, or fascinated by these narratives as I am, don't forget to subscribe here at Reality Recap. I want to hear from you. Who do you think you relate to the most? What do you think actually went down behind the scenes? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going.